Hello and welcome to the Midsummer Update from Medway Peninsula. I hope you're all well and enjoying a period of sun that we've got here. So, in this episode, we'll be looking at some new arrivals. We'll also be seeing how the progress is coming on the station side, and yes, there is progress to be seen. I've dipped my toe into the Temu market, and then we'll finish off with some running shots. So grab a cuppa and speak to you soon. So let's have a look at the progress we've made on the station side. Now the back scene buildings are all in place. I've put some Metcalf paving strips in and they have been painted and weathered. I've also had a start on the platforms with good and perhaps not so good results, but it's work in progress. And then we'll have a little look on what we've got planned for just over on the right hand side. So a little bit of experimentation with the platforms, awaiting the building from Dave from Bunter's Yard, who is, if you remember, building my station. So let's have a pop over into the garage and see what's been happening. I needed another vaccine filler, and Nick Dow produced me a very nice one, and it's I Harding in memory of Mel's father who passed away about a year ago. Here are some long shots, and here is one along the whole of the back scene, and the pavement strips you see are scale model scenery, not Metcalf, as I think I mentioned earlier. But here we are. Still a little bit more work to be done on the pavement strips, but they're just in place to give you an idea. Some little add-ons, some model railway scenes with the air conditioning units, and there's the long shot. Moving over to the pavements, these are from Scale Model Scenery, which had a black wash, and found an old makeup box from Mel. And there were some useful colours in there that I used, and also used it on the platform, so they were quite handy. So again, grey primer, black wash, and some weathering powders. The platforms still need quite a bit more work to do on them, but coming along. New arrivals to Medway since the last video. Now, Hornby announced in their railroad range that they were doing some box wagons in the DC Rail, I think it's pronounced Capaga blue livery. And I noted that Cavalex were doing one of their new 60s in that livery. So I was tempted to put a pre-order in, and then it came to the back of my mind that Hornby did the same version. So a little bit of research on eBay, and I found one virtually mint condition for £125, which is about £60 less than the Cavalex offering. And I thought, well, with a TXS decoder, I've got a sound-fitted loco for under £200, which is good. Now I know you'll say, look, they're nothing like the same detail as the Acura scale and the Cavalex are offering. Not so much detail, not so much lighting functions, but they're still a good model, and they still have held up the test of time. So I've got that one, and then it also came to mind that um, Ralston Sheffield had them, and they were doing a very good deal of £119, and I was after a loco in the BR sectorisation, a petroleum livery, and capability brown was a Hornby Class 60. So I snapped that up as well, and put a TXS decoder in, and this time it's 21 pin, and that gives you more control on the lights. So rather than having both the head and tail lights on, you can switch the tail lights off. And so it does seem that with Clever Alex and Accurascale bringing their offerings, it's brought the price of the Hornby loco down. Now I think it's still at 223, and then of course we've got the 10% increase. So for around 240, that does seem highly priced compared to the other two offerings. But at this price, that certainly works for me. So I think you'll hopefully agree with me, and you'll see some pictures of both of them running as well. Now, other bits I got at the Chatham show, I went to the Network Southeast stall and picked up a mug and a coaster. My previous mug, which was Kent Link NSE, which is the um, area I used to travel on, that broke, so I've got a replacement. Also popped over and saw Pete at Model Railway Scenes and picked up some of his excellent 3D products. And then finally, there is a hover speed, fictional hover speed liveried coach, and you'll see a bit later on in the next videos of what I'm going to use that for. So those are the new arrivals to Medway. Well, Timo, is it any good? Now, I must admit, I was very skeptical of Temu. I wondered whether it would take ages to come along, whether it would come along at all, what would be the quality, good, bad, or terrible. But it was only until I saw another video on YouTube where a chap had been sent some items from Temu and they looked okay. So I thought I would dip my toe. I spent, and let's just have a look, £7. I think it was £7.34 on a few four items. And so let's have a look. So the first one, and I'm just looking down. Excuse me, is a premium A3 cut-in patch mat, and here it is. Um, yeah, it's okay. That cost me £1.79. It's quite thin. It's not self-healing. Um, Not sure how it will cope with being cut on, but I think it's quite good where perhaps you could put it on a bigger cutting mat. Now it's supposed to be A3, um, but that looks like more like an A4. So, yep, jury's out a little bit on that one, and I'll report in how I get on with it a bit further. But yeah, £1.79, not too bad. Next up, I got these sets of, I suppose, glue bottles. Now, if anybody has made a Metcalf kit, or even laser cart kits, and it's just nice to be able to put a thin bead of glue along it, or even for painting, dropping down. Um, and I usually get the ones, these are from Metcalf or on eBay, and they're usually about £4 for three. Now these are um, five bottles. Here they are. 5 bottles plus a selection of tips. Don't know if you can see those. But in there we've got some metal tips, very handy for gluing. And what would I think of them? They're a little squidgy, but they seem to be okay. Again, I'll give them a test, but they cost me £1.48. So, yeah, on the base of it, extremely good value. And we also next have 20 of these little, what I'd probably call shot glasses. But I don't know if you can see that on the side, they have got markers from 5mm up to 30mm. Now these I'm going to be using for paint mixing when I'm doing some weathering, or even if you're doing some weathering and you need a little pot for putting thinners in. Yeah, I think that they will be good. Quite solid as well. The excuse me. Yeah, the glass or the plastic rather has a bit of give, so they won't shatter, and they cost me for 20 £1.79. So for those, I'll put on the excellent value side, and then we'll finish off with a little pair of it says heavy duty multi-functional pliers. Now, if you can have a look at those, they look quite good. I was thinking for where you have to nip off of sprues, plastic, or if you've got these sort of MDF laser cut kits, feel quite solid in my hand. We'll see how they actually nip, and then I'll use those a bit later. Let's try it on a. We've got a piece of plastic here. Yeah, they seem to cut okay. Yeah. So again, we'll see how they go, and they cost me. Sorry, I've just got to put the phone back up. They cost me £2.37. And again, if they last, then that's I think is quite good value. So what do I think of Temu? How long will the items actually last? We don't know. On the face of it, they seem extremely good value. Are we getting into a throwaway society where they probably won't last and be thrown away? But I know it's terrible to say, but for the price of those, the most expensive being £2.17, yeah, it does seem like good value to me. So I'll keep you updated on how those go. The Chatham Show, I picked up a new mug and a coaster from the Network Southeast Society stall, which replaced a broken mug. Also went and saw Pete at Model Railway Scenes and picked up some of these 3D printed items, and they are extremely good. Won some more painted figures from Sue Marshall on the eBay listing she had, and managed to pick up this hover speed. It's a fictional livery, but I'm going to use it as a what if combined with my other hover speed coach and also the 2C-Link coach. Okay, let's look at EWS Class 60 042 the Home of the Who. Now this is the first loco that I bought. 100 of Who is the school, or the name of the school, that my two daughters went to, so it seemed an obvious choice. Now, it's one of the older versions of the Hornby Class 60, and it's well detailed, runs well, and got the TTS decoder. So as you can see, it's got lights at the back, a nicely detailed card, lights at the front, and if we go across, yeah, for quite an old loco, it's very good. Let's hear a couple of functions. Horn, secondary horn, that's a little clanking. I think that's a compressor. And some revving up. So yeah, all in all, a nice loco. Okay, so there we are. That's the end of this short midsummer update for you. Now, where are we going forward? So, a bit more work will be done on the station side, awaiting the station building from Bunter's Yard. I'll look to move over into what I would call the industrially side to do a bit of work there. I'm going to be having a go at weathering. I've got some 3D kits that I want to put together. So if there is time, hopefully there'll be more to see, probably another month or so. I'm really now having to start getting on with the training for the charity run. And as I mentioned before, keep a look out. They'll have their own separate videos as well. So it goes without saying, is enjoy the rest of the summer. Have a lovely time, whatever you do. Keep healthy, and of course, happy modelling. So let's finish off with a few running shots, and bye for now.
Some places, right. It does. If you're on the road, engine,